From a pe- from a Presbyterians beneath New York City to a European after being found in China, we take a look at 10 of the most bizarre tombs ever discovered. Hello guys, it's PC Gaming Dude here, and today I will be your narrator, telling you some of the most interesting facts that you may have never heard of before. Number 10. The Presbyterians beneath New York. In 2015, workers in New York City were digging up Washington Square East so that they could install a water main. While digging up the foundation, they discovered a large empty space filled with human remains. In the 1800s, two-thirds of Washington Square Park was a potter's field, and the remainder was a cemetery for the small Presbyterian church. Well, after another vault was discovered, archaeologists came in to evacuate the sensitive area. While the area is now in the middle of Manhattan, at the time of many of the burials, it was in the outskirts of the city, and will soon be forgotten as the city began to expand. The tombs were encountered once before, around 50 years ago, by workers, but they were again forgotten. Number 9. Pyramid-era Egyptian romance. In 2013, a 4,000-year-old tomb was discovered in Saqqara, and inside the beautiful story of an Egyptian romance was found illustrated on the walls. The depictions seem to be of a Nereidus, a priestess, and a Kaha, a singer. The tomb is one of the few ever found from the Pyramid Age that shows romantic affection, such as one scene where the couple is gazing into each other's eyes, rather than standard images of married couples, most often found from the time period. Inside the tomb, not only were the remains of the lovers but their children, and possibly their grandchildren, showing that they were an especially close family. Number 8. The Flooding Cult Tomb. In 2011, archaeologists excavating a pre-Incan site in Peru, found the tomb of a priestess, along with 8 others. While this find was impressive, there was even more intriguing found right beneath them. In 2013, archaeologists at the same site unearthed a chamber built to flood. It seems that the tomb was a part of an ancient water cult. The flooded tomb was built by the little-known Lam Yek people, who existed some 800 years ago. Inside were 4 sets of human remains, one adorned with pearl, turquoise, and shell beads. The 3 other sets were more humbly dressed. It was a common practice for the wealthy to be buried with an entourage to accompany them to the afterlife. Number 7. The mercury-filled Emperor's Tomb. Well, you heard about this man named Qin Shi Huangdi. This was China's first emperor, but is most remembered today for his burial place and his army of terracotta warriors. Far more is waiting to be discovered. Qin's tomb hasn't been excavated because of high amounts of the toxic element named mercury. Much of our knowledge about what lies inside Qin's tomb comes from texts written by the court historian Sam Qin during the Han Dynasty. To recreate the rivers and lakes of China, builders put in vast amounts of liquid mercury, and tests support this. We still don't have the technology to look inside the tombs, but remote control technology has revealed some aspects of the structure, and experimental digs show terracotta dancers and musicians, in sharp contrast to the armies inside or outside. Number 6. The Shaman's Tomb. 12,000 years ago, a woman who was greatly respected died after an elaborate burial ritual. She was placed deep inside a cave. The woman, around 45 at the time of the death, was found in a cave called Hezilia Teti in northern Israel, discovered in 2005. 20 other skeletons were found, but this woman stood out. She was believed to have been a shaman, based on the number of skeleton bones found with her. Shamans were believed to be able to commune with animal spirits, which would make her one of the most respected members of her tribe. She was buried with much fanfare, including a feast of 86 tortoises. She received a 6-stage burial, which began with the preparation of her tomb in the cave, along with decorating her burial place with animal remains and other objects. Finally, she was placed inside with a stone dividing her from the others, buried. Number 5. Akasta Tomb. In 2012, archaeologists uncovered a mysterious tomb in northern Greece that dates back to the time of Alexander the Great. The tomb, known as the Kasta tomb or the Amphilopolis tomb, was richly decorated with a mosaic depicted scenes from Greek mythology, along with pillars built in the shapes of young women. The tomb was constructed during the tumultuous period after Alexander the Great's death. It was the final resting place of someone very close to him. Theories about the identity of his uninhabited range, from family members to favorite generals to Alexander the Great's childhood friend and lover, Hephaestion. 5 bodies have been found inside the tomb, but excavation virtually stopped on the site due to Greece's financial crisis. Number 4. The European and China. In 1999, a tomb was discovered in China containing the 1,400-year-old remains of Yu Hong. Yu Hong was not Asian, but European. Taiyuan, where the tomb was discovered, marks the easternmost spot where someone of Hong's genetic lineage has been discovered. Yu Hong belonged to an ancient genetic line that descended from western Eurasia, and his tomb displays this. The site was characteristic of most tombs in Central Asia from the period, and his artwork is done in Asian styles, but images of Hong and his family show European characteristics like straight noses and blue eyes. Found alongside Hong is an Eastern Asian woman, who is likely his wife. Number 3. The Polish necropolis. In 2015, Polish archaeologists made a discovery unlike any other. An enormous 2,000-year-old necropolis that served as a burial place for centuries. The tombs number 120 and were in use from the 1st century to the 3rd, a time known as the period of Roman influence. Those buried in the necropolis were known as the Przeworsk people, and the tombs illustrate their change over time. The earliest burials were done in the Celtic manner, with mounds laid over the top of the ruins. Over time, though, the burial rites became like those of the Romans. One unusual aspect of the necropolis is the presence of a 2-person tomb, described as princely by researchers, which contains the remains of a man in his 20s and a juvenile in his teens. This tomb is highly unusual because only 5 such 2-person tombs have been found around the world, as the only one in Poland. Number 2. The upright Mayan tomb. At one time, the Mayan Empire stretched as far as Honduras, and one of the most important cities in Central America was Copan. Copan exists as a hub of trade and politics from the 5th century to the 9th century. As important as the city was, for many years, we knew virtually nothing about it. In 2005, this all changed with the discovery of an extraordinary tomb containing the remains of an elite member of Mayan society. The tomb was highly unusual in that the man, who died around 650 AD, was propped upright in a chair with his legs crossed. Another odd find, since Mayans were known to sit in such a manner. A door with a dazzling jewelry like jade. The tomb was found quite unexpectedly inside a temple far away from Kupan's ceremonial center, the rock crypts where most important figures are buried. Number 1. The Denisova Cave. The Denisova Cave was located in a remote region of Siberia, and to the average person, it would seem completely innocuous. In fact, the Denisova Cave is one of the most important historical sites in the world. It all began in 2010, when the pinky of a young girl was found inside the cave. After testing it, it was found that the girl lived some 50,000 years ago, and her people, the Denisovians, were a previously known human species. Well, unknown, I should say. The Denisovians lived and died inside the cave. Their remains haven't been found in any other location, so it most likely also served as their burial grounds. Besides the pinky, the only other remains are bits of teeth and small fossils. Well, fragments, many of which date to 110,000 years ago, and others as early as 170,000. The Denisovians were most likely drawn to the cave because it's filled with light, and it's quite large. These same characteristics attracted other species, like Neanderthals, and even modern humans. So, what do you think, guys? How do you think this awesome top 10 is? Let us know in the comment section down below what top 10 we should do next, and see you guys next time in another top 10. Take care.